clear what?
Yes, absolutely. There are pushes to turn these back into states that will allow conversion therapy. There have been several bills that have been put forward also to ban the conversion therapy. Michigan had one introduced, I think it was in the last 2 years, and it didn't pass.
Would it be considered these are mandated reporters? Like, I mean, I'm not talking like watch the video, but it, like, I mean, conversion, like hurting, like shocking. Wouldn't it be, I mean, as a administrator with students whose parents are okay with it, one who is very not okay with it, and they're not allowed to refer to him as him,
In my opinion, yes. Folks who go through conversion therapy experience a lot of the same things afterwards as folks who have been abused. PTSD, suicide attempts, things of that nature. As far as the mandated reporting, I don't have a solid answer on that, unfortunately. It's sticky. Yeah. But just so you're all aware, and a lot of the folks that practice the conversion therapy are not licensed professionals. I could lose my license if I practice it, and I'm also educated and I'm part of the community. It's a whole different subset. But like a lot of my colleagues who aren't LGBTQ+ are educated to be affirmative. So it's folks who have no licensure are still engaging in these practices. I found this on Twitter. It was from a college course that was on, I think, gender studies, and it's questions for heterosexuals in the class. So what do you think caused your heterosexuality? When did you decide that you were heterosexual? Is it possible that your heterosexuality is maybe just a phase and you're going to grow out of it? Why do you insist on flaunting your heterosexuality? Why can't you just be who you are and be quiet about it? Why do you heterosexuals feel compelled to seduce others in your lifestyle? Have you considered therapy to change your heterosexual tendencies? I can tell you I've been asked some of these questions myself. I don't think I've ever worked with or known someone personally in this community who has not been asked any of these questions. Sometimes they're by well-meaning folks. I get asked all the time, when did you figure out you were bi? Like, did you just stumble on it? Was it under your bed and you found it? They don't say it like that. But there's this notion that you have to explain this part of your identity. Nobody has to. Heterosexual folks don't have to. Cisgender folks don't have to. Or LGBTQ folks don't have to either. Any questions on the mental health portion? Okay. So legal protections. When I first did this presentation, which was a little over a year ago, I did not have as much on here as I do now. So I'm super stoked about that, but we're still not where we need to be. So Michigan laws currently, Michigan civil rights laws, do not offer protection for sexual orientation or gender to the general public. Under Jennifer Granholm, order was put forward to protect employees of the state of Michigan from discrimination on gender and sexual orientation. And in either January or February, Governor Whitmer put forth an order that extended that to anybody who receives state funding or offers services that are funded by state funds. So if a lesbian couple goes camping at a state park and they get harassed, they have a case now. They can put that forward. The Civil Rights Commission of Michigan in 2018 decided that they were going to start hearing cases on gender and sexual orientation discrimination, which is a big step forward. However, it still is set up so that if a case comes forward and it goes to the state Supreme Court, they have the final say. So the commission is accepting these cases, but ultimately it's still the state Supreme Court's decision. A lot of local municipalities have started putting forth protections. You can actually Google Michigan townships or counties that have LGBTQ plus protections and get full lists. There's a lot more than I would have anticipated. Obviously, like your Ann Arbor's, your Ann Arbor, Royal Oak, like things of that. But there are smaller towns that are putting forth these protections as well. The marketplace health insurance is now required to provide health coverage to folks who are trans or non-binary. B, they cannot deny all transition-related care. They have to fund at least some of it. So the other thing they've included was what we call sex-specific procedures. So once upon a time, if you were a trans male who had not undergone any kind of bottom surgery, you could go in for a pap smear and your insurance could say, we're not going to pay for it because you're telling me you're a male. They can't do that anymore. They still have to pay for it because it is a life-saving screening procedure. So that's a really big deal. Title IX, I've been reading a lot and it's still extremely murky. At one point, it was declared that there were bathroom protections under Title IX. The current Education Administration redacted that. So when in doubt, check with your school, see what their policies are. I think statewide, I haven't heard of anything passing on that yet. Any questions on the legal stuff? Okay. So employment. The Human Rights Campaign has put forth what is called the HRC Buyer's Guide. You can Google that and it'll come up as the first result. And they have a huge list of companies that they have rated for LGBTQ plus friendliness, both in terms of how they treat their customers and their employees. So they rank things like, do they hire LGBTQ plus employees? Do they have anti-discrimination practices within their policies? Yes.
Do they have a resource group?
Do they have
The resource groups, they sometimes say, rate them if they have an LGBT resource group for their employees.
I think so. I think
Yeah,
that's on there.
and-
Yeah, yep. If the insurance, if they offer employee insurance that'll cover partners who are not married, that's all included. So these companies got the like gold star, highest rating LGBTQ plus friendliness, and they're all in Michigan. Usually when I'm working with someone who is looking for work, the first step that we do is, can we find maybe a company that we know is supportive? Starbucks and Target, I've sent a lot of folks that way. GameStop, I was not aware, and I'm super thrilled. I like video games, so they can have all my money. Kroger, I heard rumors that they were one of the early ones that adopted an insurance policy that paid for transition-related care. However, if you find a LGBTQ plus friendly employer and they check all the checks, super stellar policies, great benefits, there's still some things that you need to keep in mind. Individuals employed with the company might carry bias. I had somebody who, here's our McDonald's, worked at a corporate-owned McDonald's and was actively denied their name and pronouns by their boss. They had to, on their name tag, have their legal name, which I don't understand, and they were not allowed to have their correct pronouns used. They wound up quitting. Because of the second point, it can be scary to bring discrimination moving forward. Even if the company says, you know, we have a no retaliation policy, and you're not going to lose your job, don't worry. People still lose their jobs. And some of these companies, especially the bigger ones, I had somebody who worked at GM that had all these policies on board, but they would have guessed, and to the best of their knowledge, that just about everybody on the floor was cisgender and heterosexual, so they were super uncomfortable even bringing it up. Like, who would I even say something to? They're all gonna look at me like I'm some kind of weirdo. Deciding if, when, or how to come out is extremely complicated. I take coming out at work on an individual basis, and even further than that, I take it on the individual applying and the individual company they are applying for. Both of those things need to be considered. Some folks will apply and disclose at interview if they're trans, some will wait until they've been at their job for 6 months, some never come out. The flip side of that, some folks come out to everybody they meet, which I personally, like, if that's how you want to live your life, that's fine, but some of these concerns can still come up. Sometimes they come out in completely inappropriate ways. I worked briefly with a young man who was on the spectrum, and his way of coming out was talking about the gay porn that he was very, very fond of.
I hope he wasn't using the company computer.
You go home, be my guest, but when you come to work, you can't discuss that. That perspective taking piece can become super important. Just learning to read, like as somebody even LGBTQ friendly, sometimes you can't read that. It's a very sticky process. And there's others in places of employment that are outside the repercussions of the company's policies. Customers, maybe there's an outside IT company that comes in and handles your IT stuff. Handyman Joe, who comes in and just super homophobic. And again, that raises the, well, okay, I'm being discriminated against, I have to bring that up to somebody, and that's a scary, scary process.